Hey everyone, welcome to the Fighting Dementia Podcast. We're a podcast for people who've been diagnosed with dementia, who are in the early to middle stages, and for people supporting people who are living with dementia. And today I'm lucky to be joined by Frank and Marion, who is Tom and Fran's partners, who are my usual regular co-hosts. So welcome both.
Oh,
thank you.
Cool. And I thought today we'd talk a little bit about routines. It's a month out since Christmas, and I know for myself, having ADHD, and I don't medicate, because Christmas was so all over the place and was like parties and visiting family, my sort of life became quite chaotic during that period, and it was a bit upside down. So I thought we'd talk a bit about like the importance of routines that you found in the last 6 and 8 years, respectively, and what it was like over Christmas as well, and reflect a bit on that. So yeah, is routines, do you find them important in terms of living day to day, week to week? Marion, if you want to start.
Definitely. Tom thrives on having a routine. When the routine's broken, he doesn't know what to do with himself, and he can get quite agitated as well.
Right.
So if we keep to a similar routine, he's quite calm and he can get on with things. Like over Christmas, because like you said, there wasn't that same routine, it takes it out of him and he gets really tired.
Is that when he gets agitated, when he's tired?
Yeah. So if we can keep to the same routine, and like with Christmas, you're visiting people, you're eating different foods, drinking a bit more, and that's, all, it sort of, you can't cope with it all.
And how about you, Frank? Is routines important for you in general? In
I would say so. I mean, Fran's has really one routine, and that's also keep herself busy, and whether it's Christmas or any time, it's like she has trouble stopping. So that's her routine, is just like, she's doing stuff. And as I've said, she does too much, which makes her really tired and unwell. But she, it's just she likes to be a constant, just everything, flowing.
Mm-hmm. And does that mean like always something in the calendar for tomorrow and the day after?
Yeah, we have a diary at home. There's always usually filled up, and if there's not, it's the shops. I think, she doesn't like sitting down or relaxing. She's not very good at relaxing, whereas I'm like, love relaxing. But it's trying to just restrain her a bit, because it does have an effect on her. If she does too much, it just makes her unwell. And she's, which has a knock-on effect with depression and such. She doesn't, not full-on depression, but she does get really, down if she can't get out and do stuff. But sometimes it's to the detriment of herself. She does it,
Tom's the same. When he does too much and he gets really down, his mood's really low. And it's quite hard to bring that mood back up. And also it affects like me as well. And when he's so low, it gets my mood down. So it's a knock-on effect to me as well. Yeah.
And how about routines for yourself within all of this, in terms of, are you strict with your own routines of or is a lot of your focus, on your other half?
Well, me and Fran are like polar opposites on most things. Like, she's a evening person, I'm a morning person. So I have like my routines. Like I practically do have a day before she gets up,
Right.
So I could literally be out for my walk, do the housework, go to the shops, come back, and then wake for about between 10 and 11 o'clock. And then, I've like had quite a few routines, and then I'm ready to sit down. And, right, where are we going?
And how about for you, Marion, in terms of your own routines? Do you stick to...
I don't really have routines because I'm still working. But I have said this year, when I'm off on a Tuesday, I'm going to have that day to myself. So I'm going to make time for myself. So I haven't made a routine yet what I want to do, but I think because I don't have loads of time to myself, I don't really have the routines type thing.
Yeah. I think we've come across that from so many experts about making time for yourself and how important it is. What's made you make the move to commit to making that time for yourself?
I was struggling before Christmas, and I just thought I was just so tired and exhausted. I just felt I need some time to myself. A few years ago, I used to have, like, on a Wednesday morning, I'd go to the gym, go for a swim, things like that. And then things happen and you just get out of that routine.
Yeah.
But I want to get back into, a healthy routine again and start doing that. So I might go, like, when we've got, at the weekends, if we're not doing anything, go out cycling, and because I've got to start cycling for July. I've got 5 months.
Because you and Tom are going to do that 27-mile bike ride.
Yeah, Liverpool to Chester.
You were signed up last year, weren't you?
I was.
Didn't make it.
No.
But so this year...
I'm determined I'm going to do it.
You got Tuesday cycling day, or at least part of it.
Yeah.
We really hope you're enjoying this podcast. We want this to be one of the best free resources for any family affected by dementia. With your help, we can build the biggest community in the world for supporting, guiding and comforting everyone who faces cognitive issues and the people around them. So please hit that subscribe button or share it with someone who needs it.
And I think in a way there's sort of good routines and bad routines. I mean, you can get in a bad routine that's a detriment to yourself.
Yeah.
And it's recognising what's happened. Like Marion said, she's recognised that she's in a routine of helping Tom and that, but, she does need to break that cycle a bit.
Absolutely. Well, it's so important to look after yourself, isn't it, in these things? And it's so much focus goes on the person living with dementia. It can be forgotten about your own need to, look after, have your own space, look after your own physical health, mental health.
Because if you don't look after yourself, you can't look after them. So you need to be at the best health you can be.
Absolutely.
So you can actually be there for them.
Absolutely. It's like one of the most important things, I think. But it also gets overlooked the most, even though it's also one of the most important things.
Yeah, I mean, you see it quite a lot on television all about carers who just, are really stuck. But we're fortunate that we've got a really good family, and Fran's got a wide circle of friends. Yeah. So I do get that time off where, so friends will pick her up, take her out, and that she'll meet friends a couple of times a week. And that's so I'll either take her or drop her off. But I do get that gap in between, so I do get quite a bit of spare time.
And you got your mornings?
Yeah, and all my mornings usually.
Do you feel like that's really important for you to have that span?
Yeah, because I live next to a country park, so out in the mornings, lovely sunrises, bird song, pheasants, there's foxes, sheep, cows. It's just nature type thing, and it's really beneficial for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And because you're still working, Marion, that opportunity's not there for you as much.
No.
Is Tom up earlier than Fran, would you say? In terms of like 10, yeah.
Tom usually gets up. Sometimes if I'm working and he's not, he'll stay in bed, but not very often. Tom usually gets up in the mornings and he'll make me a cup of tea. So nice. I get ready, come down and have my cup of tea.
Lovely.
So that's nice. But I don't usually get a lot of opportunity on my own, and I know that's my own doing. Because I'm looking after, I have to make sure both Tom and Kieran are sorted as well. Kieran's very independent.
This is your son, right?
Yeah. He needs some support. There's a lot of things he can't do. So it's all down to me. But, I am trying my best to do stuff for myself. But sometimes it's easier to sort of just do everything for them. But I do try. They are Tom is independent as well, but it's just the little things they need, just a little bit extra support. You need to be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes now he needs a little bit more, you can see, but you just get on with it really. But I know for my own mental health, I do need to make sure I do have like a break away from both of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody in life needs their own space, don't we?
Yeah, and also about the park, I go at the morning, I've made several friends in the park. Because it's like a community that's sort of like the same people, go there every morning.
Yeah.
So, and they tell you their problems, you say, how's it going? And I've met a couple of other people whose wives have got dementia in the park, and because of our age, you meet people who are ill as well, And so it's also, it's quite therapeutic talking to people in the park as well. Yeah. And I've never really been a big talker to strangers, but over the years, I've been going in the park, I've met, on first name, people are going, Frank, hi. So there's an extra benefit in the park as well,
Yeah.
meeting people as well.
Because you're lucky enough to be retired, aren't you?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So you've got a bit more time and energy, I guess, for that, and also space because Fran's not up yet.
Yeah, because Fran is awake late of a night usually. As I say, we're polar opposites, so she'll be sitting up sometimes. So 1:30, I'm fast asleep, and then when I get up in the morning, I've got like several hours before she wakes up.
Yeah.
So it's.
And do you struggle to make? Would you say that because you've got so many friends, family, you got that time in the morning, you don't feel as maybe burdened as maybe Marion might?
No, not really at all. No, we've say at the moment where Fran's quite. She's obviously got dementia, and she does. Our lives have changed dramatically in that, but we have quite a bit of support, and then with family and friends, and then I say I have that morning time, like for about 4 or 5 hours of a morning, because I get up like it's 5:30, so like Fran doesn't get up till say 10:30, so there's 5 hours. Like I have totally to myself to go for a walk, pop to the shop,
Nice.
do stuff,
Marion, you're thinking, how do we get Tom to stay in bed till 10?
I'm just thinking, how do I get myself to get up at that time?
5:30, yeah. I mean, you've got to be a morning. I mean, I've just started doing it more recently, but it's to get up and have a game of tennis and paddle tennis, which will actually get me out of bed. But if it's not something arranged, because you have to pay for it beforehand, it makes me get out of bed at 5:30. But if there's nothing like that, I struggle to get out of bed at that time.
Yeah.
I've been, since a child, I've been like an early riser
Oh, right.
all my life. Yeah.
And how about like managing Tom's routine and Fran's in terms of calendars, schedules? How does that all work for you? Because Frank mentioned he's got like a diary in the house. How does that work for you guys?
I have a calendar in the kitchen, so I put dates on there. Also, we have Alexa.
Oh, yeah.
So Alexa reminds Tom during the day when I'm not there.
Yeah.
So that seems to work. And I just put everything in my calendar on my phone. And I'll just remind Tom if anything's coming up. If he's got an appointment coming up, I can't remind him too early because he'll forget. But especially like the day before or that day, I'll say, you've got this appointment.
Yeah. And when there is a routine change, because I know you were on holiday last year and you got like a holiday coming up and you had Christmas, how do you manage that?
I don't sort of prepare so much. I always make sure everything's done, because there's one time we went away for a weekend and usually I'd pack my own stuff and Tom pack his stuff. And we were going to Newcastle for the weekend. We got to Newcastle and Tom said, "Did you pack my stuff?" I says, "No." So then Tom was exhausted from the journey. So me and Kieran had to go out and buy Tom some clothes.
Yeah, so you're more in charge of that stuff.
I am now.
You're having to be much more organised in the lead up to it.
Yeah, but then once we get there, I know, like when we go away, I'll say, right, once we got there, we have 2 days doing nothing because just the journey to get anywhere we get to, it takes it out of him.
Get the energy back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we try to sort of just, like the first couple of days, we won't go too far, just,
nice.
Trying to chill a bit more.
Yeah.
Just so Tom can sort of relax and sort of get his energy back. And
that's what you sort of mentioned, like when you're living with someone with dementia, Frank, it's managing that energy becomes a big part of it because...
Yeah, because, well, I suppose in a way, Fran doesn't know what's best for us sometimes. Excuse me. We really have to sort of try, restrain her a bit, say to her, you're doing too much, because it has a really, detrimental effect on her, it's sort of mood, tiredness, feeling ill. But she insists on keeping active all the time, so
which is great in one way, but then it just needs to be managed, so that it doesn't end up with burnt. Like a CEO of a company or anyone in a high pressure job, if you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, like any human, whether you've got dementia or not, at the end of the day, your well's going to run out, isn't it? At some point?
Oh, exactly, and but trying to get Fran to understand that, it's sort of, in some ways, she's like really good. And in other ways, like, she'll pick me up on stuff and do stuff, and she's really together, and I'll say something to her, and then she won't grasp. Like, this is sort of, nope. And once she's made her mind up, nope, not doing it.
Just imagine that as well.
Yeah, she's a force of nature.
Even though it's like beneficial for her, nope. It's just in the discussion.
We had a discussion with the consultant after Tom got his diagnosis, and basically she said his body is telling him he can do it, but his brain doesn't give that signal saying he's done enough. So he's got to try and pace himself, but he doesn't pace himself. But she was saying, like, this would have been about 7 years ago, that he's got a brain of an 80-year-old and he had a body of a 56 or 7-year-old.
Fascinating, yeah.
So the brain can't catch up with what the body can do, and that's when he gets burnt out. And then all the moods go down and they're just exhausted.
That's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah. And makes so much sense from both your lived experiences.
Yeah, I mean, on a similar example of Fran, it's like she has to have sleeping tablets every night because, it's normal personal mind will say you're tired, you want to go to sleep, you go to bed. So there's 3 things you do. But Fran's mind can't bring them 3 things together. She has to take a sleeping tablet because before she took the sleeping tablets, like she'd feel tired, she goes to bed and she wants to go to sleep, but she'd sit there till like 3 o'clock in the morning. It just doesn't sort of gel. Mind won't bring.
It doesn't all connect in terms of the mind-body relationship.
Yeah, so she has to take a sleeping tablet to get to sleep.
Fascinating. So I think it's 6 years in now, Frank, since Fran got diagnosed, and Marion, for you, it's 8 years since Tom got diagnosed with dementia. Have you got any sort of words of wisdom looking back for people who are supporting people living with dementia, and in terms of over the years, what you've learned, like what would you share as like some nuggets?
For me, it's just acceptance. And then, people often say they accept things, but they don't really accept things. But it's just a journey you're on, and, because it's like a really slow progression with Fran because she's on medication and such. So our lives have changed sort of like in a way dramatically, but over a long period of time. So it's just become quite normal the way we live our lives now. So but if you don't accept what's happening, it can
be really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how about for you, Marion?
I think that first year was awful because that's all you could think about.
Yeah.
And we didn't realise that you could live so long with dementia, so we were thinking the worst. But then once we got over, I think maybe the shock as well, because we weren't expecting that diagnosis.
Yeah.
Once we got over the shock and came to accept Tom's got this, we decided, we're going to live our lives. And like Tom, his is a slow progression. He's on medication. So I can see the difference from him like 5 years ago to today, but you can live with it. It hasn't stopped us doing anything that we want to do. No, some things you think you can do, like paddleboarding.
and you might quickly learn that maybe you can't do that.
We quickly learned that was a stupid idea when we were on holiday. But, you know, it hasn't stopped us.
And if someone said to you, you'd be in Greece 8 years from today, trying to do paddleboarding in that first year, you probably wouldn't have believed them.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah.
There you go. So there's a little bit of hope. And I think if you can, you know, like you said, Frank, accept it, and then you can sort of get over the shock and the fear.
And have that understanding it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know, there is a life, you know, with dementia as well.
Absolutely. And there's also, we're learning more and more about brain health and the things that you can do. I know Tom's recently taken up painting by numbers, and he's getting a lot out of that in terms of making him feel better and concentration. There's so much you can, and hopefully we've shared a lot of that on the podcast and we'll continue to do so, that the more we learn, that it can be even less scary, and you can have more hope, because there is so much knowledge coming, and also new drugs, as Tim from the Alzheimer's Society talked about. There's some hope in new drugs about how it could start to reverse some of the things. So I think it's a changing landscape for people.
I think it was the fear of what was going to happen as well when we first got the diagnosis. And we didn't know anybody, you know, our age at the time. And it's when you start meeting people and you see it, you know, in your own.
You can believe it, And that's hopefully what we're doing with the podcast, is showing people what it can be like. Great. Well, we'll have a little short break there, and we'll come back and do Reminiscence Corner if you can hang around for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
It annoys me, and I find it difficult because all of a sudden people start referring to you as a carer.
Yeah, that's right.
Just like, well,
you pointed that out to me, and I never thought about that.
You know, I'm Dawn's wife. And we do stuff together. She helps me, and I help her, and that's, you know, how it is. You don't all of a sudden start calling yourself something different, whereas everywhere else does. And it does annoy me.
It's like losing your identity, isn't it, from the person that you were as well?
Well, then it means our relationship's not equal. And it's a fight to keep your relationship equal.
Ordinarily.
When the balance is, it's different.
How did that land with you, Marion?
Well, when Tom first got diagnosed, any appointment we went to, I was introduced as, "This is Marion, my carer."
By Tom?
By Tom.
And how did that make you feel?
It annoyed me a bit because I felt I'd lost my identity. I was saying to him, "I'm actually your wife. You know, I'm not just a carer. I'm your wife first."
Yeah.
So he doesn't do that anymore.
Great. And that's why we tried to call you guys supporters of people living with dementia as opposed to carers, because I think, you know, maybe at some point in the distant future that's might feel like that, but, you know, maybe it will never feel like that, and you're just there still trying to support them to live and to get through a diagnosis. As like you get diagnosed with cancer, someone's just supporting you through it, you know. I don't know about you, Frank, how that clip landed and how you feel about...
Well, we've never sort of referred to myself as a carer. I've always sort of been Fran's husband. You know, we never sort of, you know, I suppose in later stages you could be classed as a carer, but you know, from day one you're not a carer. You know, it's still a partner, husband, wife. You know.
Yeah.
So it's other people as preconceptions, isn't it? Really.
Absolutely, yeah. It's almost like what society thinks is like, oh, you're diagnosed, and then, okay, you're now their carer. When that's just pretty much not the case whatsoever, is it?
No.
Yeah, because Fran still does quite a bit of stuff for me, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And does Tom do anything for your cup of tea in the morning?
Yeah, he makes me a cup of tea in the morning. he can do some of the housework.
Yeah.
So
he's still working, still providing for the family and stuff.
Yeah. And, he helps. There's stuff that I can't do, like manual things that I haven't got a clue. He can still do that.
Yeah.
If he, I couldn't drill a hole in the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Things like that.
Yeah, I think half of this show is about changing perception of what dementia is and what the realities are. And I think...
Yeah, well, everybody has a very simple concept about dementia, people forgetful. And it's that's just like a small part of it, really, in some ways.
Absolutely, yeah. Because there's all the other symptoms and there's other aspects to it. And you not becoming a carer for a very, very, very long time, hopefully in most cases, is a big part of it, that you're just there to support them, and it's a challenge in your relationship. And
say if we go for a day out, or we're out all day, or we go to a party, like we went to my grandson Jack's 18th birthday, so people wouldn't sort of, me and Fran stand there with a glass of wine, you wouldn't say, I'm a carer. It's just, it doesn't, gel in any sense of the word.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was just mainly like medical appointments that Tom was saying it.
Right.
Not like if we go out, he'd always say, oh, this is Marion. Meeting people. He wouldn't say, this is Marion, my carer. But it was just like the medical side of it.
Right. Yeah. Maybe he felt like that's what he needed to say or whatever.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad he's moved away from that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks very much both for your time. And as always, it's a pleasure to have you on. I know you've been on a few times before, and it'd be a pleasure to have you back on to talk about different things, because I think hearing from you guys can really help other people who are supporting people living with dementia, because those lived experiences, and to hear, about you trying to make time for yourself and hearing about acceptance and things like that is like, it's just so important to hear it from like the horse's mouth, people who've been there and done it. Because I bet the first year, well, it wasn't the first year that was a shock maybe to you, because Fran said she felt like she knew she'd had it for a year or two, and the diagnosis was like more of a confirmation. Yeah, because,
things were happening that, we both sort of, like, we're normal. So when we got the diagnosis, it was more or less, we knew, type thing,
So it's more in like, for you, it was maybe before that diagnosis, the shock and the fear and that maybe even some sadness. It's in those moments, if we can reach people and they can hear from yourselves and obviously Fran and Tom regularly, I think you give people a lot of hope and information about how to approach it in a different light to what they might think and expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks both for coming on. And
thank you.
We'll see you again soon.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks so much for listening to today's podcast. We hope you've got something out of it. We understand that everyone's journey is different, and we understand there's hundreds of types of dementia. So we hope through conversation, we're supporting you on your journey. So please like, subscribe, tell other people you know who might benefit from the podcast. And if you'd like to come on, please do get in touch. Just a reminder to do your own research. We always take guests, scientists, researchers, people supporting people living with dementia, people living with dementia at their word. They might talk about things that are new in science. They might talk about things that have really helped them. So just a reminder, do your own research. And thanks again for listening.